Ah, c'est intéressant. Allez, allez.
Allez, Islamabad.
Woo!
All right, thank
Three,
you
two,
so
one.
much for being here. We are on another episode of Another Day in Paradise. I'm again with my friend Rida. You know what I realized by watching the previous one is that I tend to forget to introduce people. And the reason for this is because when we start shooting,
Yeah.
it's
We're already
we
in a
are already
convers-
we already
on
been
a
hanging out for a
conversation.
few
Yeah, yeah,
minutes,
true,
sometimes
true,
a
true.
few hours. So I don't see.
It's okay. I
But
don't take any
but
offense
for
in
our
it.
viewers,
But,
thank you, Reda, for
Please
being
introduce
here.
me now.
Thank you, Reda, for being here. Um, so
You're welcome.
today, you know what came back to my memory the other day is that one day we were having a coffee in a nice place here in Morocco, in Harhora, which is a city near the beach.
It was a nice coffee. We should do that
We
again,
should do
by
that
the way.
again. It was really cool.
Mhm.
The coffee is horrible though. The view is nice.
Yeah.
I don't know about the
True.
coffee. I drink tea. It's like the worst tea I
Yeah,
have.
yeah.
But anyways, you told me, you know, I work with some people who are pretty well off, and you dealt with. I don't know how far you want to go in this, but you already worked when you were in Switzerland with
Yeah.
with very rich people, and you said, you know, all of them, what they have in common is that they are looking for tranquility. They are just looking to be having a peaceful time, pretty much
Yeah.
like we were having at that time, like just relaxing, having coffee. The phone is not ringing. We are not overly stressed. We are enjoying the nice beach view. We were literally like in front of the beach, like 100 feet from the beach. And you said, you know, this is what they are looking for.
Well, that's what life is all about. I mean, I think that there's different levels of wealth, of course. We have kind of like a big trend coming from the US where people like to flex, show, oh, we have money, or you want to have this Lamborghini, or. But it's true. When I started working in like hospitality in Switzerland, and you actually have contacts with like really wealthy people, like really wealthy people, you kind of start seeing that they all have things in common. That's why, like, a lot of people say when you're like at a level in the Western world, the wealthy people are the Mark Zuckerbergs, the
Bill Gates,
Bill
etc.,
Gates,
etc. Yeah.
etc., and they all tend to, not over flex, like they're simple in their ways, etc.,
True.
etc., and they value different things when you're at the stage where, because I don't think that in your everyday life you see that much of a difference when you pass from $1 billion to 2 billion, or etc., etc. And what you value the most is time and quality of moments of life, and all of that. And basically, they work all their lives to try to end up in a very, very simple place.
Yeah, and what we don't realize oftentimes is that we, as regular people who don't have like by any stretch of imagination as much money as they have, we have that already. We
Yeah,
have
well, what they're looking to
achieve. We already have.
It's within everyone's reach in a way,
Exactly.
like except of course people that are in very precarious situations and stuff like that. But there was the story of the guy that said that met the fisherman in an island.
That's
right?
what I was gonna tell you exactly.
And
Yeah.
just to go quickly, and he sees the fisherman, and he's like, what are you doing here after fishing? He said, I'm gonna fish, and then I'm gonna see my friends, and then I'm gonna spend a little moment with my wife, and then I go to bed, and between that I'll probably take a nap.
Yeah, I'll take a nap. I'll go hang out with my friends,
Exactly.
drink some wine, play music,
Exactly.
and then the next day I will fish for a couple hours, and then I will do that every day.
Exactly.
And he said, you know what? I have an idea. You can fish more instead of fishing just for 2 hours or 3 hours a day, you should fish for 8 hours a day. And you should get enough money and get a loan and get a boat, get a bigger boat, get 2 boats, and then move to Mexico. And then from Mexico, move to New York. You can manage your whole business from there. And then he said, okay, and so what? Okay, and after that, you will move to New York and you will have like, you will
billion dollars.
You will make billions of dollars. I said, okay, and after that, he said, well, and after that, you can go back. You
can retire in
you
a
can
small
retire,
island.
and you can retire in a small island. You can wake up whenever you want, fish
Exactly.
whenever you want, spend time with your friends, play music and spend time with your friends, play with your children, etc., etc. He said, all right, so I already have that right now. So
yeah, so that's what's funny because it's the whole cycle that like it's what we call like the rat race, right? When you're in it, you're just like so focused on productivity, trying to make more, do this, do this, do this, do this. But at the end, everybody wants to get to a place where they're chilled, where they can do like very simple stuff. Family values come back. The importance of, having a little garden, stuff like that. Like everybody tends to come back to that after going through the whole super productivity process.
And time, I think, is people need to realize how much time is so much more valuable than money, because time, you can only lose it. You can never like gain time. You can never like go like it can never be a plus before a time. Like you can never say, oh, today I earned 2 hours. No, you didn't earn. You lost 24 hours every day. You lose 24 hours every day. But money, you can earn money, you can lose money, you can earn a lot of money and lose a lot of money, etc., etc. But so rich people, oftentimes they have a lot of money, but what they don't have is time.
Exactly.
They say, "Oh, right, I have a,"
and they start buying their time by hiring people to do a bit
yes,
less,
to save time, absolutely,
etc. But still, 24 hours in a day,
So exactly, but so what most people have is time. So we have time, and rich people, they don't have. I mean, we have the same time as rich people and medium average people and low average people and low income people. So. And I think we don't value it enough. So
definitely,
like, okay, you can work really hard, and so sometimes, for example, they give you a promotion at work, and they say, okay, we will give you a little bit more money, and
even a lot of more money.
Yeah, but you have a lot more stress, a lot more
course.
Responsibility. You will pretty much have no life. So what do you think about that? And they said, well, yeah, I mean, it's more money. I mean, you got to work hard. You got to work. This is like life is hard. You got to work really hard. And in every single motivation video, they almost none of them, I haven't seen any of them who tell you, like, you know what? Relax. You don't need to be the boss of your boss. Motivation is good, but finding the balance is what's more important.
Yeah.
Not like, but they all tell you, come on, you got to wake up at 5 a.m. You got to do 100 push-ups. You got to run.
There's a difference between like putting the effort to achieve what you want and the finality or the objective of a life. Like, it's true that a lot of people underestimate the importance of happiness. Especially when you put in, we had the discussion earlier about people putting, I have trouble wrapping my head around people sacrificing a lot for careers where they don't build something for themselves, where they just, have like, they might have a bonus, they might have this, but at the end of the day, if it comes to an end or something like that, you're just another piece of the puzzle that can be replaced at any given time. So sacrificing a lot of stuff for that is a bit hard. Like, I think happiness is a bit underrated for sure in the approach, especially of work.
Yeah, I think what we're looking for should be the balance. This should be our goal. Like, you need money, of course, but how much money is enough money? That's the question everybody should ask themselves. How much money do you think? What is your goal? What is your objective? Because of course you can be the boss, you can be the boss of the boss, but what does it imply? I mean, you got to work harder, you got to work a lot harder, you got to work Saturdays and Sundays and work late at night. Is it worth it? Is it something, maybe take a step back and realize, okay, if I have 30% less money, but 75% less stress, is it worth it? Is that 30% money? What do I do with that money that really compensates? Because I'm not here to have a social life. I don't have a social life. I don't have time to just relax and watch Netflix and get bored.
Yeah.
This is there is a lot of value in that too.
I think the importance is to do it for the right reasons. Like I get that some people want to make a lot of money to be able to, I don't know, like make considerable changes in the world or
Yeah.
whatever. And I'm not against people putting a lot of time in the work, in anything they do, as long as it's for the right reasons. And if you're building up, I don't know, you wanna. Everyone has dreams. You might want to, I don't know, it can be something as big as end starvation, you know. And for that, I'm guessing you still need to have like financial power to actually do something about it. And for that, if you need to sacrifice a lot of your time, as long as you're doing it for the right reasons, you can only respect that. What's a bit sad is someone that's working all their lives and at the end of their 30, 40-year-old careers, like they didn't see their kids grow, they didn't
Sure.
they missed out on a lot of things. Who's the most successful, at
Exactly.
the end?
Exactly. And you know, like I was watching an advertising a long time ago, and I tried to find it many times. I couldn't. There was a guy who's like standing in front of his window watching the sunrise, and he's getting ready to go to work, and he's contemplating the day, and he's eating like some kind of cereal, etc. And he said, and there was a voice off that said, we have a nice house. You made it. You have a beautiful house. But to have this house, you had to take a loan. And to pay for that loan, you have to work. And you have to work hard. And you have to get the best position to be the manager, and then the manager, and then the assistant manager of the big boss, and then blah, blah, blah. You have to go up the scale. And then finally, but you have that big house of your dream. Fantastic. But in order to pay for this house, you have to work, which means that you don't spend a lot of time in your house. When you come back, you spend 2 or 3 hours awake, and then you have to go to sleep because the next day you got to go work hard. You got to hustle. And same thing for the car. You jump in a nice car, finally, the car of your dream. It's very comfortable. It's leather, stitches. It's perfect. It's quiet. It's powerful, very elegant. But the car spends most of the day in the parking lot. You don't drive it because you don't have time to enjoy that car. You don't have time to enjoy the house.
True.
You don't have time to enjoy anything. You have a lot of money, but you don't have time because you put yourself in a circle where you have a lot of nice things. But these nice things you have to pay for. And to pay for, you have to spend more time at the office than time enjoying your things that you bought. So maybe you should lower the nice things and like increase the pleasure. And a lot of people have beautiful houses, but they don't spend a lot of time in their houses.
That's one of the things that drives me crazy in Morocco. And I have this issue, even like with my relatives, my parents or whatever, is that, for instance, the best places in the house are the ones that we're not going to use because they're reserved for that grand occasion. So it's like the nice
living rooms, etc.
And stuff like that, or the best
dishes, silverware, etc.
All of that. And I never get why. Who's more important than us, you know?
This is part of Moroccan culture, I think.
It's part of it. And it's, I don't know, to come back to what you were saying.
Yes, that's a good idea.
There's a
always a good idea.
There's a funny thing that comes with this whole rat race kind of thing. Is that the excuse is always is often I'm doing this for my family. I want to offer them the best
for them.
life, the best everything I never had, all of that. But at what price, you know? Does your kid really want to, I don't know, like do some kind of expensive activity or this, or would they have preferred you coming to his football games?
You know, that's a very good point. I didn't expect to go there. To be honest, I'm hesitating right now. But anyways, I'll go there anyways. So, my dad.
Don't get too emotional.
No, I don't.
It's okay. You want to
no, I'm okay. So my dad actually he works really really hard, and I use the present tense because he still works really hard. He was very So my dad is a doctor. He's a gynecologist and a surgeon, and what he does is he came up from what he did is that he came up from a very poor environment. Not very poor, like they were eating like sand, like
Yeah,
poor,
like
but not like okay, like Africa, like what people think about poor, like he's sleeping in the street. But his dad actually was very rich, and he burnt out all his money, so they ended up being poor. He's he has 9 siblings, so there are 10, which is not uncommon at that time.
my father does as well.
Yeah. So
12.
it was not uncommon at that time at all. Now it's more like 3 or 4, and I think the future generation is more like 2. But anyways, and my mom actually came from a pretty well-off family. And
Same.
same thing, right? so the contrast was really interesting. So my mom came from a pretty well-off family, but my dad, all his brothers and himself, they studied really, really hard. They were the best in schools. They were very, very like they worked really hard. And my dad ended up being a doctor. My mom was a stay-at-home mom. I have 3 other brothers, so she had hands full. And
I see the size of the, of the kid, probably.
Yeah, I'm a big baby. When my dad started working, he worked really, really hard because he wanted to provide for his family, and he wanted us to be in the best position in life. So he worked really, really hard, and he worked in the public system here, which is like very, very demanding. And then he finally went private, and he started. All right, guys, just a quick break here. If you enjoyed this video and if you want to show your support, please don't forget to subscribe, to like, to comment, tell a friend to tell a friend. Thank you so much. Back to the video. Making more money, definitely. Like, it was a big jump, but he still works really hard. My dad is over 70 and he still works, and he cannot let go because he thinks that, oh, what if something happens? What if one of you needs something? What if?
Yeah.
And that's why I said you have to set your limit. You have to say, okay, I will reach this goal, and then that's it. And you have to have a reasonable goal. Of course, everybody wants to live with like 100K a year at least, but let's be reasonable. Like in Morocco, if you have, I don't know, $1,000 or $1,500 a month, you are in the 1%. You are or in the 10%. Let's put it this way.
Let's say 10 times almost the
minimum wage.
Minimum wage.
So you're very comfortable. So you have to set a
like depends on your everyday habits. But you see someone like your father or my father as well has pretty much the same in different fields, but it's pretty much the same process they went through. And my dad as well, over 70, still working, man. He's very impressive for his age. Yeah. I can't do what he does.
Exactly.
Like, jump on planes, do hours on the road. And very impressive. But they do it for the right reasons in their eyes, for sure. Like, it's not like something that they're lying to themselves or anything. They want to provide. Maybe that's what they were lacking when they were younger, and maybe that's where they put the importance of things. Thankfully, even though my dad was a very busy man, I never really felt like my father wasn't there, or like I didn't feel that void. And probably because I had a present mom and stuff like that. But like, they do it for the right reasons. But today, I think it's very important to go for quality over quantity in terms of relationships, especially between a father and child, and things like that.
But you see, I'm sorry to cut you off, but you see, like, the difference is that I felt like my dad was never there. And I remember when I was young, I told my mom, like, Dad is never here, and when he's here, he's sleeping. And why is he sleeping? So, and because you don't see somebody that often, and my mom used my dad as a weapon, So she weaponized him. She said, okay, like if it goes like
Yeah.
4 boys, so if she wanted to keep us calm and cool, she would say, okay, you'll see when your dad
he
comes
had
back.
that bad
So he
role.
had that bad
Yeah,
role
yeah.
and a good cop, bad cop. My dad was definitely the bad cop in the couple. And he said, okay, so we had this kind of not fear, but okay, like this guy, we don't see him as much, so we are not as we don't take as many
Yeah,
liberties
liberties.
with him,
Yeah, yeah.
etc. So
But
and now,
I have one question though.
sure.
He was the bad cop.
Hmm.
I think in our culture, like maybe 99% of the time, the father is the bad cop.
Sometimes it's the mom. I've seen some
No,
friends.
but like
Yeah,
a
but that's
majority.
true.
But
Hmm.
was he the rewarding one as well?
Interesting
Because
because
in my case, he was the like basically he took care of the high profile cases.
yeah,
So
exactly.
the very bad and the very good was his department.
Was it? Yeah,
So
absolutely.
you did something good, you'll get the rewards and the praises and this. And we're very big on, especially when you start being a bit more aware of your things. We're very big on making our parents and especially maybe the father proud and stuff
Yeah,
like that.
yeah, yeah.
So I would say my father had the high profile cases in our education.
That's true because the mom did the day-to-day operations.
Yeah.
And my father, he worked really hard and he could provide for us, and which was great. But when you were young, and honestly, looking back even right now, I wish we had less money but more time, because after and also one other thing that played a big role in this whole story is that I was not a good student and I was oftentimes not proud and hiding my grades and hiding
Yeah,
things.
yeah,
So I
yeah,
was
yeah.
always hiding from them, which is really bad, of course. But so after I left and I went to the US and I studied in the US, then I started getting good grades because I'm like, here nobody knows I'm stupid or per se. So I'll go there, I'll redefine myself, and I did, and I came up brilliantly, and I was really good, and everybody was proud. And then I'm like, okay, now I can face them. Now I can talk to them and hang out with them because I have nothing to hide. Everything is going great, etc., etc. So that's why I excelled, I think. But anyways, so there is a balance.
Of course.
And these years where I didn't see my dad or none of my brothers really saw, I mean, we saw him, of course, like that. I don't want to dramatize things.
He didn't
like,
go buy cigarettes and never
exactly, exactly.
But,
but like he's always sleeping. And one day my mom, she said, okay, go ask him. And she laughed and she said, ask him. And I said, okay, sure, no problem. I'm the youngest, by the way. And I think I must have been like maybe 6 or 7. And I said, Dad, so why do you sleep so much? And he said, interesting. And he was a little bit taken back. And then he said, when you are at school, I'm at work. When you are sleeping, I'm at work. When you're not sleeping, I'm at work. So when I'm not at work, I'm here, I'm sleeping. So,
yeah.
so like, don't think because you're sleeping, everybody's sleeping. Sometimes I stay
Of
up
course.
until 5, 6 in the morning and I come back, I sleep for 2 hours and then I have to go and work again. And, so.
But how do you, like, I don't know on your case, but, there's always that flip when you grow up where the relationship
Changes.
kind of changes. You start having a friendship almost more than a parent to.
I think my education, and we should do a whole other podcast about education, but my education is mostly responsible for me hiding and not enjoying my parents, because I was always hiding, because I was ashamed, and when they realized my bad grades, then I was punished, rightfully so, but they didn't really provide a solution, appropriate solution, and I was hiding more, etc. So it was a vicious circle, etc., etc. It was like, it's okay. So, and I studied all summer, and then I need follow-ups. I don't need to. But anyways, so
I get what you mean.
But I think when I went to the US, my first year, which was a big struggle because my dad didn't really have the money to send me in a way he wanted to send me, like comfortable, no problem. So I had to push really hard. And my dad said
for
no.
The first time, probably.
Yeah, my dad said no. And in my house, no is no. This is not a YouTube. This is not a Me Too movement, but no means no in my house. When the dad says no,
Yeah,
like
true.
you negotiate. He's always fair, and I love this fairness about him. My mom, she can sugarcoat the questions and the answers,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
oh well, you
He's
know, we'll
like-
see maybe later. My dad says, okay, go ahead, tell me your arguments, and you say, well, because I want my bike, because I want this, and I did that, and I had a good grade, and the bike is gonna help me go to school. I will go faster, and I will come back faster. I can do the homework, and he cuts through the crap really quick, and he says, no. All right, next.
Not
Next.
convincing.
Next. So
You can give it another shot tomorrow.
yeah, maybe your mom would have let that fly, but not me. So when I came back from the US, I like not after 12 years, like every year. The first year I said, wow, I'm actually an adult and I have a part-time job. I live comfortably. I don't ask them for any extra money. He pays for my school and my cost of living, and which was very like tight.
Yeah.
700, the equivalent of $700 a month. He paid for school, and $700 a month was the maximum he could send because, anyways. So it was tight, but I worked and I did okay, and my grade were really good, and I loved what I did. So when I came back, I was more in a position to like. Yeah, I mean, I have nothing to hide, and I started
Yeah, you felt like you proved
rediscovering my parents. Like,
of
yeah,
course.
now I can sit down and talk. So how are you? And yeah, good. So
You're not like head down.
I'm not hiding anything.
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
like,
yeah.
I hope he doesn't ask me about. No, he can ask me about anything.
Yeah,
I'm
you-
okay. And
You're good.
yeah, this is where I started to rediscover my parents, etc. Yeah. How about you?
Well, it was quite similar. My parents. Well, I'm the youngest as well.
Okay.
So I feel that we have that luck of kind of like being the the observers.
We
of
learn by experience.
Exactly. We don't need to go through certain things. You see that your brother got in trouble for this, or in my case, my sister got in trouble for this. So I'm like, okay,
Yep,
so
I'm not doing this.
This line, don't cross it, bro. Not worth it.
Yeah.
And basically, I always had a good relationship in terms of communication with my parents. Of course, father was a bit less present than my mom, but I never really felt that. Like I feel that he was there at the main moments, but he had a very good, very special relationship with money. For my dad, it was very important for us to know that nothing is ever like granted or due to you. Like for instance, I always give this example when we speak and stuff. Like I would tell him I need to go buy clothes, right? He would give me like $10 and tell me, go buy clothes. And I'm like, what am I gonna buy with $10, right? But if he comes with me,
He'll buy you
he
expensive
he
things.
would buy like even stuff that I don't want, you know, like, and he's like, now you know that like this is money and like you need to give it the value. Nothing is granted, nothing is due, and I didn't always get it at the time, but today I'm thankful for a lot of things because I as you know, I've moved a bit around, and
Yeah.
I had friends that I was with in the 6th grade, and that I left and came back to the 12th grade in Lycée Descartes, which is kind of like
An elite
kind of school and stuff.
Yeah.
And I kind of saw all the people I was with, the way they evolved, especially on the material sides and things like that. And I'm very, very thankful that I kind of had that.
like you grew up grounded.
Yeah, like I know, like thankfully my family are pretty well off. There's not like but you know, like for Morocco it's very good. And and basically but you still keep those values and stuff, like especially in business. I have a lot of problems with people around me, is that they all want to make $1 million, but they don't understand that $1 million is many times smaller amounts.
Exactly.
So, I'm just gonna make $100 on this day. It's not worth it. I'm not gonna
Yeah.
do it. And that I
They
think
want to hit
comes
the jackpot right away.
Yeah, because when you have pocket money, the equivalent of a high salary,
Yeah.
and the first salary once you come out of your studies
That's
is lower
nothing.
than your pocket
You have
money,
no motivation to go work.
none whatsoever.
Yeah.
And I'm thankful for that. Like my parents always, like when we were studying, gave us enough to live.
Mm-hmm.
All the extras, like if you wanted to buy yourself a new iPad or whatever, or a new phone or whatever, work for it, bro.
Yeah, and you know what? You value it so much more if you
Man,
work for
it's
it.
crazy.
I had a good friend who was in the States, and he came one day and he saw in my apartment I had the MacBook Air, which is interesting because I still have it today. But anyways, like that was like, wow, that was maybe 7 or 8 years ago. Anyways, so he saw that and he said, "Oh, that's really cool. Maybe even more. Maybe close to 10 years ago. I'll check on that." And he saw that and he said, "Oh, it's really cool." I said, "Yeah, it's the MacBook Air." And before I buy anything, dude, I know the product by heart before I get it because I do so much
Exactly,
research.
because you're not just gonna buy it and
I'm
be,
not
it's
gonna
not
buy
the
it. They're
right
like,
one.
yeah, actually, I don't like it. No, but no, like if you buy it for $1,000, you know exactly what it can do, and
It's
if you
amazing
like
to give value. Me, I had this very good friend that used to work in McDonald's. We came from the same.
Do you say McDonald's or McDonald's?
McDonald's?
McDonald's? Because in Canada they say McDonald's. Anyways,
Whatever, man. McDo. and and we came from the same high school here in Morocco, and how people perceived it here, for instance, me, I found it so admirable.
Oh, he worked in
worked
McDonald's here in
in
Morocco.
Geneva.
In Geneva, okay.
And first of all, you make a lot of money working in McDonald's.
You make a lot
in
of money
Geneva.
doing anything in
Exactly.
Geneva.
That's the first thing. Like you have like the salary of a minister here, but it's so badly perceived that someone that came from that
money, yeah.
that circle might lower himself to a task, whereas like it's so cool, man. You know, like and they say in business in Geneva, one of the most valued things on your
Resume.
CV, on your resume, is working in things like that. High productivity, high pressure, high stress.
Yeah.
All of that. That means that you learned a certain way of
Yeah,
working.
processes, etc. Yeah.
And it's one of the best timed, like best thought business processes in the world. And you're
I
part
agree.
of it.
I agree, and I think it should be part of everybody's education. Education is not just school; it's also those small jobs where
Exactly.
maybe the boss is an asshole, maybe he's not, or maybe you have too much pressure, too much work, and you don't make as much money as your dad can give you in a heartbeat. But this is not. They don't pay you just a salary, McDonald's. They also pay you experience, and this is very valuable experience. I think in the United States, doing small jobs is very common. I don't think there's a lot of discrimination between rich and poor. Like the rich works and the poor works. Like small jobs is really cool. I was very lucky. So let me go back to that guy. He saw the computer and he said, "Oh, pretty cool." I said, "Yeah, it does this, it does this." He said, "Oh, do you want to come with me to Apple?" Yeah, sure. And I went with him, and he bought the same one as mine, but boosted up to the maximum. Like he pimped that shit like big time. And it ended up costing twice as much.
Yeah.
And he used it maybe 3 or 4 times because I went to see him in Boston, and I said, "Oh," and it was like literally like thrown under a pile.
Some people just want the best. That's like the whole concept.
And this guy didn't really work.
Yeah.
He didn't because he doesn't need to. And he ended up going back to Morocco faster because he didn't really enjoy life there, because life, you have to go with the wave. You cannot just stand there, do nothing, don't have a part-time job, just go to school and come back and say, "Hey, how am I going to spend money?" So, and every time he wants to go and do fun things, "Well, I'm sorry, I'm working. Can you wait until 6? No, I want to go now." And he ended up being alone, doing nothing because everybody's working, everybody has a life. And in the States, I did so many small jobs. I was a bouncer
You were a bouncer?
Yeah,
You're
I
too
was
nice
a bouncer.
to be a bouncer, bro.
You know that they used to tell me that seriously. They used to
because
say,
a
"Stop
bouncer
smiling."
Usually, like,
No, you need
Well,
to have
I'm also
that,
6'6". But anyways, I used to be a bouncer. I did that for 3 years in a very, very upscale place, very nice place. Anyways, I was a dishwasher. I worked in a very, very, very shady convenience store. We used to sell blunts and the glass roses. Do you know what that is?
glass roses.
It's a little glass thing with a hole in it, and it has a tiny, tiny little rose. And they sell it as a decoration, but in reality, people smoke crack in it.
Okay.
And we used to sell like 100 of these a day.
Yeah.
So this is a sneaky way to sell things for anyways. And blunts, of course, like, it's the thing to roll joints, and drinks. Hey, you don't want to burn your lips. And I did that. I didn't do it for a long time. It was too shady even for me. I did that for a week. And the boss was an asshole. Anyways.
Fuck you.
Yeah, fuck you. I don't think he sees me, but fuck you. Joette says, fuck you. Fuck you very much. The other thing I did, I worked as a landscaper, gardener. Like, I did a lot of things. I did a lot of heavy lifting. That was fun too. We worked in some very, very cool properties, and I went inside and I met the owners, and we talked about designs, and it was really cool. I did a lot of things, man. I sweep the floor. I sweep the floor outside in the streets. But these things are so valuable. I delivered pizza, obviously. I think 99% of Americans delivered pizza at one point or another, or worked in a pizza place. Yeah.
it's okay. I was gonna say something, Vid.
Say that again. Did you eat them? Is that what you
Not far, but anyways, I'm not the one to talk.
What? Say it.
I know.
You have to.
I can't shock our viewers.
All right.
Carry on.
Carry on, Ani. So I think work, to go back to our original subject, work is very valuable, but social life is also valuable. People who work hard is a good work ethics. That's good to work hard. I don't think there is anything wrong. Oh, no, I mean, you just make the minimum wage and you are happy. Yeah, you got to work hard. In this life, you need money. I mean, if you don't think you need money, you do. You do need money. I mean, you don't need just money just to eat and sleep under a roof. You need some money.
You need money for freedom.
Exactly. You need the fuck you money. And the fuck you
freedom
money
gives
doesn't...
you
Oh, man.
the best. It's the best way to enjoy your time. So
Listen, that's
it's all-
power. That's
Exactly.
so much power when you can, if your boss, bosses usually are a little pushy, a little assholes, most of the times. But if he becomes too much of an asshole, you need to have the power to say, you know what, I'm out.
Yeah,
And,
you need
and
to do
that's
things
power.
for the right
you
reasons.
need just
of course.
enough money to be able to choose a job that you enjoy or you kind of enjoy. Like, if you really hate your job and you don't have a choice, you're in a bad spot. But if you have options, and then jobs becomes fun. Honestly, I have a great job. I have the opportunity to have these great hobbies, podcasts. I do sports. I can do anything. I am at a level right now where I'm very comfortable. I'm very thankful. But yeah, some people who are struggling, they have to keep the job, otherwise they would be in deep shit. That's a tough position. That's a tough position to be. So I think that's gonna be pretty much it. Should we wrap it up? Yeah.
Wrap it up.
Okay. All right. So thank you so much. I think this is gonna be it for today.
It's okay.
And
No judgment here.
we will see you next time. Don't forget to subscribe, like, comment.
like.
We should have said that in the beginning because But anyways, if you are still following us, please subscribe, give us a thumbs up, comment. Thank you so much. Cheers.